Hey, friends! We just got done seeing an animated film from the 1980s, The Adventures of the American Rabbit. But hey, why not look at a good one? So this time, we're talking about The Last Unicorn, a Rankin Bass production from 1982 based on a fantasy novel by Peter S. Beagle. Now, one of my viewers was kind enough to send me a few things off of my wish list, including this here DVD. Yeah, thanks. I don't know who it was though, on account of they didn't leave one of those little gift note thingies. So I don't know who sent it. Not all heroes wear capes, of course, but maybe this one did. Maybe it was Batman. Thank you, Batman. Nah, for reals though, thanks for sending me this stuff. Well, let's get into it. Our story goes like this. One day in a lilac wood we find a unicorn, and she was all alone. She never thought about that before, not until these hunters wander by and offer their pledge that she is safe from them because she is the last of her kind. Then this really annoying butterfly chimes in, using gear-grindingly annoying rhyming lingo based on 20th century music and stuff, wildly out of place in this medieval time period, fantasy or no fantasy. And did I mention he was really annoying? I don't know if he's in the book or not, but I kind of hope so I could slam it shut and shut him up. Ugh. Anyway, he stops blathering on long enough to tell the unicorn that all of the other unicorns in the world were rounded up and driven away by a fearsome Balrog called the Red Bull. Their fate is unknown, but it probably isn't good. This bothers the unicorn enough that she decides to leave the safety of her wood and go in search of her people. Along the way, she's captured by this old biddy who wears a tree for a hat, Mother Fortuna. She has a menagerie of fantasy creatures she holds prisoner for her traveling circus. Most of them are illusions cast on other living animals. Our unicorn makes friends with a lousy magician named Schmedlap, who helps free her from Mother Fortuna's clutches, and they escape, only to be captured by land-based pirates. Schmedlap, Schmedrick, he works some magic to make an illusion of Robin Hood and his merry men pass by, and the pirates there, these robbers, they all run after him to join up. The only one left is not Phyllis Diller here, and she joins Team Unicorn. But then the Balrog attacks and is after the unicorn, so Schmedrick casts a spell turning the unicorn into Queen Starsha of Iskantar, a young, sexy chick. Well, the Balrog has no interest in young, sexy chicks, only unicorns, so he goes away. And then Schmedlap there and not Phyllis Diller discuss what they should do next, while the now human unicorn just sits there, naked. And it takes forever for anyone to offer her anything to wear. Yeah, I noticed that. I wonder why. I don't know. Well, they decide the only thing to do is to go see Hagrid. No, not him. This guy, King Hagrid. His son is Prince Lear. And yeah, he's leering at something. No. He's an upright, noble guy, even though his father is not. But he does fall in love at first sight with Queen Starsha. Not Peter Cushing here is all unhappy. His castle is empty and he's got nothing. And nothing makes him happy no matter what he tries. The only thing that ever worked to make him happy was using the Balrog to capture all the unicorns and forcing them into the sea, where they reappear briefly as the foam atop the waves of the ocean. And he suspects Queen Starsha is a unicorn in human form. The prince naturally wants to have married makeouts with Starsha, and, dude, you pretty much just kissed a horse, man. Maybe she has oat's breath, or at best apple breath, I don't know. Anyway, the longer she stays in human form, the harder it will be for her to go back to being a unicorn, and harder to even want to go back. Will the unicorn find and save her people? Will Schmedlap ever get his spells right? And can we all agree that the unicorn has a point? In our cast, we have quite an impressive roster of familiar names. First is Mia Farrow as the unicorn. We have Jeff Bridges as Prince Lear, a role he volunteered for and even offered to play for free because he was such a big fan of the book. I honestly thought he was a little flat as the prince, but he's here. Angela Lansbury plays the old witch lady with the tree on her head, Mother Fortuna. Alan Arkin plays the half-baked magician guy, Schmedrick. Tammy Grimes plays not Phyllis Diller, Molly Grew. Christopher Lee plays not Peter Cushing, King Hagrid. I mean, this character design, it sure looks like older Peter Cushing, doesn't it? Lee arrived at the recording studio with a copy of the book, with passages marked that he felt could not be cut from the final edit. Author Peter S. Beagle was on hand when Lee recorded his monologue, and Lee wanted Beagle's approval that he got it right. If not, he would have cut another take. Keenan Wynn has a fairly small part as a robber guy, Captain Cully, the leader of these land pirates. Odo from Deep Space Nine, Rene Auberjonois, he voices this here Skull. And if you listen really closely, you may pick out the voice of Ed Peck as Jack Jingley, or one of Cully's pirate crew. Ed Peck was in a lot of stuff, but I remember him best from an episode of classic Star Trek, Tomorrow is Yesterday. In that, he played this Colonel, I'm gonna look you up for 200 years. Fellini. Theodore Gottlieb is here as Rook. He was previously in the Rankin Bass production of The Hobbit playing Gollum, as well as The Burbs and a movie we talked about one Halloween, Nocturna. Animation legend Don Messick chimes in, and Robert Klein plays the thankfully short role of the Butterfly. God, the single worst character in this thing. And of course, we have the man of 1,000 voices and Rankin Bass mainstay, the mighty Paul Frees. Burgermeister Meisterburger himself. He voices this cat and an unfortunate-looking tree. The music was written and performed by the band America, which is appropriate seeing as how their biggest hit was about a horse with no name. The Last Unicorn has had a very weird and troubled history right from the start. Peter S. Beagle didn't really know where he was going with the book and sort of pecked away at it off and on, never really being satisfied with the work, and he was amazed it became so beloved. He wrote the screenplay for the film with trepidation. Much later, he went back to the Last Unicorn universe with some sequels, something he never thought he would do. The movie was potentially a disaster at every turn, and how it managed to attain the status it enjoys now is in spite of all the odds. First, no one wanted to touch the property. The producer looked everywhere, finally settling on their very last choice, Rankin Bass. And Beagle hated the work of Rankin Bass. So I guess there's no accounting for taste, huh? But Rankin Bass pulled out all the stops, partnering with the Japanese animation house that had previously worked on Nausicaa. But then another problem arose. With the film finished and in the can, the distribution deal fell through. So the team had to scrounge around, finally finding a tiny distributor no one had ever heard of. But they were able to get the movie on hundreds of screens, and all seemed well. Returns were looking good, numbers were solid. Until the distributor declared bankruptcy. So that meant theater owners had no one to pay, and the film was basically theirs to show for free, which they did. For months. So this thing was on screens for like 5 or 6 months, and because there was no distributor keeping tabs on the numbers, the actual viewing figures and ticket sales will never be known. Later, they were able to get their film distributed properly in Germany, where the thing was a smash hit. There was merchandise and everything. If only that could have happened here in the US. Over the years, cable TV and home video and fan interest and support helped to cement The Last Unicorn's status as a bona fide classic of animated film. Even Peter S. Beagle had to agree. He was wrong, and the film was a work of magic. So, how do I score this one? Well, I'm already in hot water. For generations now, people seem to love this movie and the book it was based on. Fans of this thing are like Swifties and Beliebers, combined with Beatlemaniacs. Only far less annoying than that might sound. They're very passionate. The book was a seminal moment for many readers, a gateway to another world, a world of fantasy, imagination, the romantic, and the possibilities of things larger than life. The book and the film deeply affected a lot of people. I only wish it had done something else with that stupid butterfly. But he's not there for long, thankfully. And if I'm totally honest, Jeff was really flat as the prince. Passable, but strangely flat. It's Rankin Bass, it has an all-star cast, the animation is surprisingly good, and the unicorn design is really nice, really graceful. And it's an original, imaginative story we hadn't seen before. So, at the risk of raising the ire of the lasties, the unicorners, I don't know. I'm giving The Last Unicorn 3 paws up. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.